Hey everyone, welcome back to one of my podcasts. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do something a little different here. So I'm gonna start making what's called my Civilmation podcast. The idea of these podcasts that I want to start making is strictly based on focusing on those that are part of the animation business, so to speak. Now when I say that, I'm saying this in terms of there's a lot of people I feel, including myself, a couple years back when I was in art school, that I wanted to get into animation, but I wasn't good at animating, I wasn't good at drawing, and what have you. But I realized that there's so many aspects to animation that just because you're not an animator or an artist or anything like that, like you cannot contribute to it. And so the idea is to kind of bring people that are in the business in one way or another, whether they be a freelance artist, you can even be a freaking secretary for all I care. The point is, I want you to understand that there's so many ways to get into this. So what I have, or who I have with me today, is one of the Planet Dolan artists, named SaltySquid. I'm sure you guys have seen him. I'll have a picture of him here during the podcast so you guys can see who he is. But yeah, I'm here with him. So Salty, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I can hear you just... Yeah, great.
How's it going today?
It's going pretty good, man. How are you doing?
I'm alright. I'm excited to start this for sure. Actually, you know, I'm also gonna be interviewing, later in the day, for me at least, I'm gonna be interviewing Sidious as well.
That's neat.
Yeah, actually, have you spoken to Sid? Like, do you actually know him?
Yeah, we're actually pretty good friends. We watch videos together on Rabbit sometimes. You know, we actually do spend some time together. We actually watched the anime Golden Boy together, which is quite a time. Yeah, it's pretty much about a guy that's good at doing everything, which means like he could only study it for a couple days, and then he can do it really good. But the thing is he's a huge perv.
Oh.
Yeah, so like he's always perving on like the women there. And he always gets fired from where he's at, so he has to go get another job.
So that's his downfall is then.
Yeah.
Jeez. Alright. Well, I actually never heard of that. I'll probably look into that. But that's cool, because, like, me personally, I don't really know too many people Planet Dolan, as in, like, I haven't really spoken to many people, but that's mainly on me, just not really reaching out and stuff, but hopefully, this will be a good way to start talking to everybody, you know?
Yeah.
So, alright, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just, ask you a couple questions. I'm not gonna get too personal, obviously. I ain't trying to put your business on the internet, but it would be nice to, like, for starters, like, I actually don't even know your actual name. What is your actual name?
My actual name is Al Green, which I get made fun of a lot because Al Green is like, apparently it's an actual name of someone that's like into music or whatever. I didn't know that.
No, I've never even heard of that name. Not like in a rude way.
Huh. Like, I'm gonna have to look that up too, but people make fun of me for it.
Wait, so Al Green as in A-L Green?
Yeah, A-L and the color green.
No way. Okay. Well, I don't know if you know my name, but my name's Tony, so I guess nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Tony Babadaboni.
So can you tell everyone what you do? And one big question I have that I want to ask everyone at Planet Dolan is, how did you even start at Planet Dolan?
Well, I started at Planet Dolan because I was actually running low on money. I wasn't able to provide and help pay the bills around the house. So I was actually just like down on my luck because everywhere that I wanted to look into, they weren't hiring. And every, job application I put in, I wasn't qualified. And it's like, that's kind of like a hard loop to get into anyways, is getting a job in general, because you need to have experience to be qualified, but you need to get that job to gain experience. So it was harder that way. And I was actually good friends with Talent before I joined Planet Dolan. He was like, it was pretty good to me. He was like, why don't you just go and message this email here and say that you're looking for work? I was like, okay, what could it hurt? I mean, the worst thing the guy could say is no. Next
Right.
thing I know, Dolan's sitting there like sending me all this information and all that, and asking me for mine. Then I got my first Dolan True Stories, which was amazing. Like, he said we had like I think a 2-week deadline, and I finished that thing in like 5 days because I was like so excited to get to work. Like,
No, that's good. All right.
but yeah, that one was actually the first one that I made, was the one people made fun of a lot because the way I drew Ladybot in it.
Wait, which one was that one?
That was the one where Ladybot broke her ankle trying to fly like Superman off a trampoline.
Oh, that was your first one?
Yeah, that was my first one, and a lot of people made fun of the panel where her ankle was broken off, and they weren't focusing like on her ankle or anything like that. They were focusing at her crotch because apparently it looked like I gave her a camel toe. I didn't mean to. Yeah, I wasn't thinking about that, but like, I thought of it, you know, like how the seams of the pants work.
No,
I was thinking about that, yeah.
I'm trying to even think if I even edited that video, because that kind of sounds familiar. But then again, I've edited so many, so I can't really remember. But I might just actually look back. You know what? I might even put that on the screen while you're talking about that, because I don't know about that. But I didn't know people were making fun of you for that.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, I didn't see it until Hellbent pointed it out on his stream. Yeah, I didn't notice it. Which Hellbent's pretty funny, by the way. He's a funny guy. He's fun to talk to as well. I've only talked to him like 3 or 4 times. So.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to get him on here. He said he's okay with it. Just gotta see when our schedules can line up, you know?
Yeah, he's pretty busy.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. But alright, so that was your first one. That's awesome. So essentially then how it happened is you kind of just shot an email, kind of got lucky. Dolan was like, yeah, go ahead and do this video. You got it done in 5 days, and then thus, you know, you've been on board since, right?
Yep.
So how long has it been then?
Nearly 2 years, actually.
Oh, so you might have started around almost the same time I did, because for me it was 2 years in like around the end of August, early September.
It will be 2 years in September, I believe.
Ah, wow, yeah, so our time frames were pretty similar then. Okay.
Yeah.
So then, okay, so, you know, we got you here, shot a random email, kind of worked. Hopefully for those that are listening, you kind of take that into, you know, as an inspirational thing, because that's essentially sometimes how you can even get lucky. It's just, you just gotta shoot out, put yourself out there, and you might even get a response the way he did. Fun fact, that's pretty much how I did it, but this isn't about me, maybe me one day. But anyway, so, alright, so that was your first one, which is great. Now, since then, well, first of all, you know, what I want to know is, when you came onto Planet Dolan, were you SaltySquid already, or is that kind of something you made up because of that?
I was SaltySquid already, and what it was a friend of mine actually had that name, and she kind of like vanished off the face of the earth like one day, and so like I kind of just took the name because I thought it sounded, you know, pretty cool. And when she came back, I was actually going to change it to something else, but like as soon as I was going to change it, that's when the Planet Dolan video came up, and I was like, well, I guess it's stuck now. I'm sorry. She thought it was funny. She thought it was funny, but I actually kind of felt bad for it because that was actually her name. But I took it because I thought it sounded, you know, it sounded catchy. You know, when you hear it, it's like Salty Squid. It's something that sounds like it's easy to remember.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay, so that was even your friend's name. So is that why now, for some things, I believe it's on your Twitter as well, you have Squid was taken instead?
Yeah, I changed it to Squid was taken just so she could have it back, but she didn't actually take it back, so...
Oh jeez. Okay, and since then though, because you created a nice following for yourself, has she tried to be like, is she still kind of salty about that? You know, no pun intended, or how are you guys on the name?
She wasn't actually salty about it at all. She thought it was hilarious.
Oh,
but
okay. Well, that's nice of her. That's
yeah.
Okay. So then, okay, so you had Salty Squid already, the name. You came to Planet Dolan. You know, you started doing your work there. Now, before Planet Dolan, what were you doing in terms of your art? Meaning, since you are an artist and you help here at Planet Dolan, how long have you been drawing? How did you start? You know, what kind of led you to the point where you're like, you know what, let me shoot Dolan an email?
Well, the hardest thing was looking for a job in general, because I worked fast food a lot, and to be honest, it's the worst kind of job ever. Like, I'm a lumberjack now. Like I cut down trees for a living. I'd rather do that than, work at, fast foods.
Right.
But what happened was...
Wait, I'm sorry. You said right now you're a lumberjack too?
Right now I'm a lumberjack, yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
No kidding.
Wow, okay. Never heard of that. That's awesome. Like, I never knew someone that did that, actually. So that's cool.
It's actually one of the top dangerous jobs in the world.
Oh, I believe it.
Not only am I technically a logger, but I do it around electric lines. Like, I'm the kind of person that they call when the tree falls down on the line.
Oh, snap. Oh, well, okay, so I know you're not supposed to be touching those, and can't wood actually, like, burn up because of that?
Yes, it can, and it's scary. The first time it happened, I about, like, shit myself. I thought I was dead when, like, the freaking thing just, like, lit up and blew fire for, like, a good 3 seconds.
What do you do in a situation like that, though? Like, how do you defuse the fire?
You actually just have to wait till it goes out.
What?
Yeah, like where I work, you're not supposed to get near it if that happens. Like if it happens, you just get out and like you call your boss and then they'll have someone turn the electricity off the lines, which in my opinion that's stupid. They should probably turn it off the lines in the first place.
Yeah.
But it's more or less rather just the convenience for the, the citizens living around there that their power doesn't go out. But at the same time, they should be okay with, having the power out for like 15 minutes so you can cut the tree off the line, but they're not.
Well, yeah, I mean, imagine you're like midstream and then boom, power out.
Yeah.
But still, okay. Well, at least there's some way to get around that. But okay, so you do that for a living. Go on. So what's next?
Okay, so how I really started art in general was, just, I guess you could say it's like the simple thing with anything is, you picked up a pencil and a piece of paper and you found out that you liked it. I really actually mainly started out with painting rather than drawing itself because my grandmother actually painted a lot and that's where I learned how to paint. Like, I actually paint. Like, I did like actual portraits and stuff like that, but I couldn't really do cartoons all that well.
Wait, so when you did painting, then what kind of painting was it if they weren't cartoons?
Portraits, scenery, anything of that sort. My grandmother actually taught me a whole lot by that, and I appreciate her for it.
So then having like, I guess you can say like the artisticness is kind of like inherent in the family kind of thing?
Kinda. I mean, like, my grandmother painted. One of my uncles is a tattoo artist as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I was actually going to get into that profession. I actually still am trying to. I got all of my medical licenses and all that to tattoo. I've passed my bloodborne pathogens. All the tattoos I have on me, I've done on myself because I wanted to learn it that bad. I was willing to be my own canvas. Like I got a lot of terrible looking tattoos just from me trying to learn.
Are any of those online, or do you kind of just keep those to yourself?
Some of them are actually online. I do stuff here and there online where you can see some of them.
Oh, okay.
But for the most part, I don't really show them off or anything like that because in the tattooing community, it's actually shunned to learn by yourself.
As in like, it's better to learn by somebody else then.
Yeah, it's better to have someone teach you than you learn by yourself. And I get it, but not everyone's willing to teach you because in the art community, or like tattoo art and in the art community in general, it's so full. Like you can find an artist anywhere. So a whole lot of people are not going to be willing to teach you because they're afraid you're going to take up like their commissions pretty much.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that can make sense. Okay. Yeah, actually, the guy because I have 2 tattoos on me, and the guy that did that for me is my sister's friend, and that man, I want to say he learned by himself too, but I'm not sure if somebody else helped him, but like, he started in his basement, and then I believe it's like 7-8 years, and now he has his own shop, he does his own tattooing, and because my sisters were, like, his first people that, like, were willing to let him tattoo on them, like, we get such major discounts from him now, which is really nice. But, like, I get the whole, like, doing it on your own, because I believe that's what he did, and now he has his own shop,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
it's shunned to do it on your own by like a whole lot of tattoo shops, but at the same time is like most of those tattoo shops that shun you are the ones that don't want to teach you anyways.
Right. So then, like, what do you do at that point?
Exactly.
Right.
If you really want it, you need to go for it yourself.
Oh, for sure, for sure. So then, you know, I like that you just said that, because so then, in terms of that, like, if you really want something, you gotta do it yourself. Then what led you to break into? Because you said you went from painting, and I believe it was your grandma that taught you, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So how'd you go from painting then to, you know, to character design? How'd you get into that? Characters, drawings, animation, everything.
I just wanted to learn. That's all it was, is I just had a drive to learn. I still do have a drive to learn. I want to learn something new every single day, and that's why, like, I never have a specific set art style. Like, you know how you see a bunch of artists with, and I'm not like shunning them or anything like that, because if you have a set art style, it makes you more noticeable because more people like that. But if you ever notice, I don't really have a set art style, and that's because I just want to learn other sets and other things to do.
Yeah, you don't want to necessarily be tied down to something.
Exactly. I don't want to be known just for that guy that can do cartoons. I want to be that guy that's known to, I could do animations, I could do paintings, I could do caricatures, I can do, you know, cartoons, animation, all that. I want to be known as that guy that knows everything because he's willing to learn everything.
Which is good, because, I mean, because you would consider yourself then a freelancer, correct?
Oh yeah, like if anyone wanted a job to be done, I would actually go do it if I could.
Now, because you are a freelancer and you have such a, you know, wide variety of skill sets, then how do you feel then, like, being known? Because, like, for me personally, I don't really know you outside of Planet Dolan, right? So, like, when I think of SaltySquid, I think of the artist at Planet Dolan. I go to your Twitter, I see the stuff you've made. Now, because you have such a wide skill set, let's say then you were to go, I don't know, just to put an example that everybody knows. You wanted to work at Disney, right? But they're only looking for a freelance artist, which would be you. What do you feel you would showcase, though? Because you feel like this is kind of where you shine more in terms of everything else that you do.
I would probably, if I, like, where I shine the most,
Yes.
I believe is on the more traditional aspect. So, like, if they were looking for a freelance artist, I would show them more of my traditional stuff, like, you know, my paintings and, you know, my my sketches and all that. Because you could actually get so much from traditional. You can get so much for digital as well, but with traditional, you could actually see how, like, the progress goes easier because it's there, like, physically.
Right, like you'll see the erases, I'm assuming, like the sketch marks, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Right, okay. And have you actually had, like, have you ever went for I'm gonna just use professional now, because, like, let's say you're getting hired from, like, I don't know, a company, but have you ever gotten into an interview like that where you did have to showcase and, you know, try to get hired somewhere else for your art?
I actually, like, went to a tattoo shop, which is actually quite a big-time tattoo shop in the state that I live in.
Where do you live?
I live in Alabama.
Ah, I figured. Okay, because I'm over here thinking, if you're a lumberjack, you know, where they got them trees at. But okay.
Yeah.
Alabama, gotcha.
I went to I think I was like 16 or 17 at the time, because you could actually get your tattoo license, I believe, at the age of 17 in the state of Alabama. So
wow. Okay.
I went to, like, a shop that was like a real professional shop, and I wanted to be taught, you know, how to do it and all that. I brought a bunch of my artwork over there. I like gave them, like, pretty much everything. I showed them, like, what all I do, what all I can do, what all I need work on. Like, I laid it out there. I wasn't gonna say, like, I'm the greatest or anything like that. I just wanted to say, look, here's what I can do. Can you help me improve on it? Mm-hmm. And the tattoo artist there really actually liked my work. Like, really, really, really liked it. Like, he wanted me to be as an apprentice. He wanted me to learn from him.
Oh, wow, that's great.
Yeah.
And then how'd it go?
I actually did get the apprenticeship. I actually did. But later on down the line, the guy just wanted me to design tattoos for him. He wasn't actually willing to teach me how to do tattoos. He just wanted me to design them.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and it kind of broke my heart because I paid for the apprenticeship, right? I paid like $6,000 for the apprenticeship. Like I forked up some money for it.
Oh yeah.
Because I really, really, really wanted to learn, and the guy wasn't teaching me nothing. Like I was there for, I believe, 2 or 3 years, and the guy didn't teach me nothing. Like he would get super defensive if I sat by him and watched. Like that's the thing.
Wow.
Like yeah, like I would I'd clean up his stuff, and I mean, as an apprentice you're supposed to do that because it teaches you the bloodborne pathogens and what to keep clean and how to clean it. I did all that. Yeah, I did all that, and I appreciate that. But the aspect of it was he wasn't teaching me how to tattoo itself. He just wanted me to design the tattoos.
Well, and then I'm just curious, like, since that isn't something that you wanted to do, I mean, while you were at least designing, I don't know, did you last there long doing that?
Yeah, I stayed there for about 2 years. But the thing is, as an apprentice in a tattoo shop, you may or may not make money. Like you may get paid and you may not get paid because you're really there to learn. And a lot of tattoo artists will be sitting there like, well, your payment is learning. It's like, but I'm also cleaning up after you and designing tattoos for you. And, so it's kind of like you got to watch out with like who you want to teach you, because some tattoo artists absolutely will not teach you. They just take your apprenticeship money and then just teach you how to clean the stuff, but then not teach you how to tattoo.
So I'm ignorant on the subject then, because I've never heard of this though, but like do you know if that's like a thing everywhere? Like do you usually have to pay for an apprenticeship with a tattoo artist, or is that kind of something specific that you got into?
For the most part, most people that I've talked to that got into tattooing looking for an apprenticeship actually did have to pay. But within that year, they were already tattooing.
Oh, wow. And you went 2 years without even doing that.
Yeah, I went 2 years without even doing that. And I didn't even have a tattoo machine myself. My first tattoo machine I made with a spin brush and a guitar string.
Oh, gosh. And that actually works.
It works. Yeah, it works. It hurts like hell, but it works.
Well, as long as it gets the job done, I guess. But wow. That's dedication still, though.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, 2 years, man.
I still like it. Like, on my own though, without that apprenticeship, like take the apprenticeship aside, on my own, I passed all of my bloodborne pathogen tests, right? And I got all of my medical cards ready. So I could actually work in a shop right now. It's just I'm not confident enough in my tattooing abilities right now to be in a shop.
Oh, for sure. And to be fair, that's actually a pretty good thing to be self-aware of, because you definitely don't want to just be like, oh, I can do it, I got my licenses, when in reality, if you're not comfortable and it comes out wrong, like, that's a big mistake. Yeah. I mean, in the art community, you never want a yes man. You want someone that will tell you what you did wrong and point it out and help you in the future. And I think that's kind of like a big problem with today's art community, is because everyone wants a yes man. No one wants to be told what they're doing wrong. No one wants to learn further than what they already know. So, okay, so then straying off of that then, in terms of wanting to learn more, kind of getting, I guess you could say constructive criticism on what you do, have you faced any constructive criticism already? Anything you felt like you've learned, whether it be from your viewers, from your work at Planet Dolan, anything like that? Oh yeah, like every time I make a Planet Dolan video, because I'm not even gonna lie, I don't really try too hard on those. I should, but I don't have enough time to, because I'm always looking for other things to do. I'm always looking for other jobs to do. I even have other jobs to do. So as far as like doing my best on Planet Dolan, my best is pretty much what they get, which sometimes don't even look good, but I'm always busy. Like I'm always doing something. Right. And I'm sure Dolan understands that. He does. Yeah. But my thing is every video that I do, I will actually scroll through the comments and actually talk to the people like who don't like what I did, and I'll ask, why and all that. But most of the time it's always like a little kid that just doesn't like me in general. It's like I don't like this guy. Let Froggy do this one. It's like okay. But
it's funny. Like I like messing with like kids that don't like me in general as well. They'll be like, "Ah, screw you, Squid," and I'll be like, "Well, okay, well, sure."
Why not?
Well, I mean, why not? Like,
okay, so you kind of let them, say what they gotta say, and then you just move on from there, kind of thing?
Because,
Okay.
I mean, at the end of the day, right, like, criticism isn't supposed to make you feel good. It's supposed to make you learn. And I think that's what a lot of people today they have, like, an issue with, is because they take feeling over fact. Like, if something...
big time.
Yeah, if something feels the wrong way, they're not going to accept it. So, like, let's say, for example, if you were an artist and you drew, like, a lopsided eyeball or something like that, like it was just drooping down low. Like, let's say you did everything else great, right? But you had, like, one eyeball, like, extremely low.
Right.
And I happen to point that out and, say, hey, this is what you could do to fix it. And then you get mad at me. I'm not going to want to give you that criticism anymore to help you out, because I don't want you mad at me. What I want you is to learn learn and improve, which comes out of care. It doesn't come out of, anger and being mean. Like, that's, I don't even give a whole lot of criticism anyways, because I'm always afraid that someone's going to be that way.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Because, some people, they mistake criticism for, like you said, like, telling them what to do or whatever, when in reality, constructive criticism, that's one of the biggest things I feel any type of artist is always going to face. And then, speaking to those that are listening, like, constructive criticism, the point is, when you get faced with criticism, guys, I feel like the best thing to do is, take in what they're saying. You don't have to listen, so to speak, but really point out or, like, take away the little nuggets of information that you find useful. So even if Squid here, anything he's saying, if you're like, nah, man, screw that guy, I don't like him, like, at least listen to what he's saying. And if one little thing sticks with you, just keep that one little thing then and disregard the rest of this. Like, because that's how you're gonna always improve, in my opinion. Because I've even faced that myself, being an editor, and, that was back in the day. Now if, like, someone's like, if Squid here was like, hey, Tony, like, I like what you did here, but why did you add that sound effect? I'm like, maybe there was a different option there, but I just didn't see it because Squid's eyes and ears aren't mine, but that's the point, is to always improve. So Squid, then, how about this then? Question for you. What is, or what has been, one of the biggest criticisms you've faced that you feel has really changed you?
I believe when I was working in the tattoo shop, this other tattoo artist that came to a different shop to get a tattoo saw my work, and he actually liked it and all, but, like, this was actually the first time I ever got criticism. Like, and the first time you ever get criticism, it hurts like hell. It breaks your spirit. Like, I forgot what I was drawing, but he came up to me and he saw it, and he was just like, wow, man, the composition of that looks like shit. And, like, he wasn't saying it to be mean, like, cause, like, listen, like, a tattoo shop is a different environment as, like, artists, like, so it's gonna sound a whole lot more harsher. But the reason why they make it sound harsher is they want to see if you're gonna stick with it. That's why they sound so harsh when they do it. Like, when it comes to the tattooing community, they got a thing that they call, like, paying your dues, which pretty much is you got to struggle. Like, you got to struggle with, money or art or anything, just struggling itself to get better and sticking with what you're doing. And that's what the tattoo community uses, is paying your dues. So when a tattoo artist says, hey, that looks like a piece of shit, they're not saying, like, they're not using it as a personal attack. They're doing it to see if you're going to stick with it and keep going. And the guy was just sitting there. He was breaking into it too, and I saw what he was saying too. But at the same time, it hurt my feelings. But he was telling me how to fix it. Even though he was being an ass about it, he still told me how I could fix it.
Right, and I feel that's actually really good, because there's some people that'll say, man, this looks like crap, blah, 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 but they don't find a solution to the problem.
No.
And I feel like as long as you're getting a solution, that's one option you can see. Which is better than nothing, I believe. But okay, so, yeah, I can definitely imagine how you felt being told, this is a piece of shit. Like, whoa, man, that's pretty harsh.
Yeah. But at the same time, like, I'm actually very thankful that the guy was telling me it was a piece of shit. Because now that I look at it today, I'm like, yeah, that was a piece of shit.
Right, looking back on it now.
Yeah, like, you know, when I was younger, I was like, yeah, this looks radical, man. And then, like, today I'm just like, oh my god, that looks horrible.
Oh, yeah, I'm guilty of that as well. Not with art, but with some things, yeah. I know what you mean. So, okay, so then what was it, if I may ask? Like, what is it that you kind of drew?
I can't even remember. I think what I want to think it is, I think it was a koi fish that I was drawing, and that was always the thing that was the hardest for me when it came to tattooing, was drawing a koi fish, because Japanese tattooing has like a specific set of rules that you have to go through for it to be considered a Japanese tattoo, and apparently I wasn't following most of those rules. And so it just looked like a freaking, you know, goldfish with, you know, disabilities.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. So then there's like it's kind of then just like any other art then. Like there's a certain style and pattern for it to be, you know, accepted into the realm of whatever genre that would be, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that. Oh wow. Okay, and how long ago was this?
About 2, 3. Oh wait, I was about 18. So I would say about 4 or 5 years ago.
4 or 5. Oh wait, so you're 22, 23?
I'm 22.
You're 22. Oh, dude, I'm 23. Similar age. Awesome. All right. So then, okay. So a lot has been told, guys. And one thing for sure, Squid, that I just never expected from you was I never knew you were this into tattooing. Like when I see your stuff, I mean, I just see an artist. But, you know, this goes to show, like anyone else, like, you know, you see someone, you see them for one thing that they do, when in reality, you know, you can have, like, a bunch of skills, and Squid here is a really good example of that, being, like, I never would have expected him to say he was a tattoo person, or into tattooing, wants to get into tattooing. Not only that, I've never met a lumberjack in my life, so so you're my first lumberjack ever.
A lumberjacking tattoo artist.
Who draws Planet Dolan art, who does animation. Man, that's an impressive resume.
Hey, no, listen, lumberjacking actually, it pays a lot. Like, a lot of people will sit there and be like, oh, I don't make a whole lot for my job. No, get a manual labor job if you want a whole lot of money. Oh my goodness, like, when I was working in, like, fast food, I was only making, like, $7 an hour. These people started me off at $16 an hour, and I've been getting raises ever since. Like, I've only been here for, like, 6 months, and I've already had like 5 or 6 like $1 raises. Like, I'm making over 20 an hour.
Oh wow, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so then is this how it works then? So you being the artist that people know you as, in reality, behind the scenes, you're a lumberjack. How many hours do you put into your work, and then how many hours do you feel you put into the art that is required of you that, I don't know, someone might have commissioned you for, or even Dolan is paying you for?
Okay, so with Dolan stuff, I actually do not have a lot of time with it, mainly because of my job now. My job now is I work from 4 a.m. to 5 p.m. And even then, on top of that, if, let's say, a bad storm happens and a tree falls down, I have to leave what I'm doing right now and go do it.
Oh, so it's kind of on call as well.
Yeah, like, it's, I mean, you get paid triple, you know, when you're on call, but, you know, it's still inconvenient.
For sure.
You know, you'd be sitting there sleeping in your bed at like 2 a.m., your phone ring, like, hey, get over here, a tree fell, and it's like, well, all right, yeah, I guess I gotta. And if you don't, like, you can get fired if you say no. But I mean, with the pay that you get from it, I'm not gonna argue with it, because I'm like, that's gonna be a decent paycheck.
No, for sure. And definitely for you, I'm sure you can use that. I mean, who can't use more money?
Yeah, so. I actually just recently, like, bought a home with cash because of this job.
Oh, you have a home?
Yeah, I mean, it's a mobile home. Like, it's not anything, like, special or anything like that, but I paid it in cash.
Exactly.
And, you know, I'm gonna have it moved to land that I bought. So, you know, like everything's gonna be in my name, so I'm not gonna be in debt. You know, so like that's why like I'm so happy about like that job.
No,
So,
that's actually great, man. Like, congrats on that for sure. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's a mobile home or whatever, dude. Like, if it's your own place, you're paying for it, your hard work is paying for it. Like, that's something to definitely be proud of. So good job on that, dude. Good job.
yeah. What's funny is it's one of those older mobile homes too, and I bought it off an old lady, and she was sitting there talking about like how she wanted to sell it for $700. And so I was expecting like holes in the walls and like, you know, holes in the drywall, and it was got like water damage and all that.
Right, like a fixer-upper.
Yeah, like it's actually not that much of a fixer-upper. Like I went in there and I looked at it. There's like maybe one small little hole in the drywall, and then there's like a hole in the floor, but there was no signs of water damage when I saw the hole in the floor. Like I was looking around, there's no signs of water damage. I even like stepped around my floor and like even like bounced up and down to see if I'd fall through, and like the wood wasn't weak. So I'm wondering what like happened there. Like, did she like kung fu kick a hole in there or something? Or, you know, but
yeah.
Like I wasn't complaining. Like $700 for something that literally has like cosmetic damage. I was all the way up for it. Well, then this woman felt bad for selling me a mobile home with a hole in it, and she sold it to me for $500 because it had a hole in it.
Oh dang! So 200 down.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
200 down just for a small little hole in it. You know, and
I mean, that's nice for her, nice for you.
Yeah, like while I even looked at it too, like I checked like the electrical and all that, see if it was good. I checked, you know, for water damage. I checked for black mold, because that's a common thing in mobile homes, like used ones, because their gutters are so small that they get so much, you know, stuff packed down into it. So it'll actually leak the water through the walls and start like mold, like black mold. It didn't even have black mold. So
so you kind of lucked out then. You got a pretty good one.
I did. And the woman actually felt bad for selling it to me with like a little hole in the floor. I was like, she's like, I gave it to you for $500 now, and I was like, okay.
Sold.
I was gonna buy it for $700, you know, because I would have bought it for $700 even as a fixer-upper.
Right. No, that's great, man. So you kind of got a really good bargain, and plus, you know, bless that lady's heart, feeling that bad, still even putting it down even more, even though you were okay with it.
I think she wanted to get rid of it because she's sitting there talking to me about it, and like apparently her husband died in it, and she doesn't want to. Yeah, she doesn't want to live in it anymore because she just keeps thinking about her husband. And I was like, that made me feel sad. Like, that made me feel really bad, but at the same time, is I know why it's so low now.
Well,
she just wants to get rid of it.
Yeah. Well, hey, I guess at the end of the day now, you got a mobile home. You got it for a bargain. Just a dead guy's in it, you know?
Yeah, debt free.
But, no, that's good, man. So, then, okay. Alright. I'm gonna start wrapping things up here. We learned a lot about you, Squid, especially me, like I said. Never met you before, first time. So, if, for those of you that are watching, for the younger audience, let's say, for those that are upcoming artists, upcoming anything that they might see you as an inspiration for, you know, actually, before I even get to, like, one of the final questions, on your Twitter, you have a pretty nice following. The last time I checked, where were you at? Were you, like, at, I know you were in the thousands, correct?
I'm like 9,000 followers. I'm nearly at 10,000.
Actually, I'm gonna take a look real quick. Yeah, you're at, oh wow, you are at 9,499 followers. That's amazing. So that right there is an accomplishment. Now, for those that, you know, even check your Twitter regularly, what's kind of like your demographic? Are they usually like younger people, do you know?
I think they range between the ages of 16 and the ages of 20.
16 and 20? Okay. So then, Squid, for the people that watch you, that know of you, look to you for inspiration, what is probably one of the biggest things you want to tell them if they're pursuing art, if they're pursuing anything in the creative field? Because you yourself, you know, like you said, you do manual labor. That's basically what keeps you, you know, financially stable. But for some of us, you know, we want to use our art kind of as a living, use that for our sole income. What's some advice you would give them?
Don't don't think too much on how to get there and just do it. Because when you think too much, you're going to just start worrying and worrying and worrying instead of doing. The worst thing that anyone could ever say is no, but don't let that get to you, because there's always going to be somebody out there that's willing to give you a chance.
Just like the way Dolan did.
Just the way Dolan did. I mean, Dolan didn't know me from Adam. He was just like, yeah, sure, work.
Right. And I guess one of my last questions then, for sure, is, as you having such a wide skill set, doing one thing to the next, wholeheartedly, do you feel though, like I said, because technically I would say that you are in the animation business because you've dipped into it, you've done art, you do that, you get paid from an animation company, Planet Dolan, to do art. Do you ever feel, or do you ever regret pursuing art?
No.
And why is that?
Why? It's something that I always knew. Like, it was something that clicked with me. Like, let's say, for example, if someone was an arborist, which is somebody who could, like, identify trees, that person, like, throughout their life is going to have something that clicks with them, that clicks with nature. As far as with me, I always had something that clicked with me as art, like as painting, as tattooing, as I always had an interest in it. And even if my interest changed, it always stayed within art. And no matter what it was, I was always happy doing it.
So would you say then it's the happiness you get from it is what keeps you there?
Exactly. It's very therapeutic. Like, if I'm ever angry, I could just paint. It's done. I'm happy. I'm good to go. If I'm ever sad, I can paint, draw, whatever, and I feel better. It's kind of like my therapy session, pretty much.
Which is nice, because the way I see it then, your therapy session, when others see it, it's kind of like their therapy too. Which is nice. Like, some people get inspired from you, I'm sure.
I have a whole lot of... Wait, but before we go, I want to mention something, though. Because not too long ago, I got a lot of people that don't like me because I'm very, like, brash and bold and with, like, how I talk. And, like, I've made a whole lot of people mad at me because, like, I give out, like, my honest opinion, like, 100%. Like, even if it hurts your feelings, I'm still gonna say it. Well... A friend of mine actually recently had somebody on her Curious Cat say something about, like, how much he hated me.
Wait, what? Why?
I don't know. I don't even know the guy, and I don't even know what it was about. But apparently he was sitting there talking about how much he hated me and how much that he was like jealous of me because of, like, my following and the fact I got a girlfriend or something like that. And I was like, what? And, like, apparently this happened, like, 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I just found out yesterday, and it was great. It was funny.
So, like, is this something that, like, was posted online, or what was that
Yeah,
about?
like, someone anonymous, like, Truffle Cat on Twitter. She's also another artist. She's actually a good friend of mine. Really close friend of mine, actually. I'm, like, to me, she's family. She came to me yesterday when we were playing Left 4 Dead together, all of us were. She came to me yesterday and then said something about, she said something like, because I mentioned there was a bunch of people that didn't like me. Because, like, they make it known they don't like me. Like, I get messages, like, every other day, like, I don't like what you said about my artwork, stuff like that, but I give criticism. I want people to improve. All right, but one guy actually messaged her on her Curious Cat anonymously, like, talking crap about me, and I laughed when I heard it because, like, I couldn't believe it. Like, I could, but I couldn't, because it's like, why would you go to, like, one of my closest friends about that? Like, why couldn't you say it to me?
Right, kind of like going off of someone else instead of having the courage to just say, you know what, Squid, I don't like you.
Yeah, I guess it was more like, trying to break my friendship with this person. I don't really know, but apparently all of my other friends knew about it too, because she told them, and then they're like, yeah. I was like, well, when did this happen? They're like, oh, like 5 days ago.
Oh wow. Yeah, so that was dang, dude. Okay, is that probably like one of the worst things you've gotten? I guess you can say. From someone.
I've had worse. Like I've had people threaten to dox me because I was friends with Doopy. Because at the time with like her and Christine Chandler having issues, I took up for her a lot, and
People were getting pissy about that.
people were getting angry about that. But like, I like Doopy and Jess. They're really cool people. They're fun to talk to. I don't talk to them often, and I wish I did, but I don't have a whole lot of time to, and I don't think they do either. But
Wait, yeah, we all have our thing.
yeah, I ticked off a whole bunch of people just taking up for Doopy in that situation, and I don't regret it. Like that's the thing. Like I'll take up for anybody, even if I don't know you. Like if you're being wronged, I'm gonna say something about it.
Which is a noble thing to do. I appreciate that about you.
But
For
I'm not like, I'm not social justice warrior level or anything like that. Like where if it's just something completely ridiculous and off the wall, you know, I'm not gonna get mad over it. Like I do think some people need to toughen up, but when it's like completely out of line, I try to jump in there and help out a bit.
I mean, and also, I mean, what else would you want from a friend, really? You know, if that's
Exactly.
a friend for sure. What else would you want? No, but that's nice, man. I think that's actually a really noble thing of you to stick up for someone regardless of the backlash. Because, you know, there's some people that won't speak up about anything because they're afraid of the backlash.
Yeah.
You know?
And I'm not going to say too much about that whole situation because I'm pretty sure Doopy wouldn't really appreciate it. But I took a lot of stuff taken up for her, and she does. I don't even think she knows that I even took up for her for the most part, because I don't sit there and I don't like to, you know, brag about that or anything. You know, like, oh, look at me, I'm the hero. You know what I mean? Like that, to
Right.
me, that just this feels really narcissistic. And you know, so when I take up for somebody, I don't want to like talk about it a lot, because people are gonna see it as me wanting praise for it or something like that. Like,
Right.
it's like yeah, no matter what you do, you're always gonna get jabbed somewhere.
Oh, for sure, man. Like, even like, if you were just being, like, the person you are, somebody, I don't know, somebody falls, you help them up, and then someone's like, oh my god, did you see that squid help this person up? And the person's always gonna find something wrong with it. They're like, oh, well, I would have done it regardless, or, oh, I wouldn't brag about it. It's like, no, somebody was sharing that. That doesn't mean I'm wanting to share that, or I want the spotlight for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
But I don't know.
That's just how people are.
I don't really talk about too much of that stuff. And not only that, it's when you talk about that kind of stuff, it seems like a good way to get into somebody's business, which is something I don't want to do. Like, their personal business is their personal business. You know what I mean?
Yeah, oh yeah.
So, like, if I turn around, like, let's say, for example, like, let's say I knew you in person, somebody punched you in the face or whatever, and you know, I hit them back just because it wasn't right. I'm not gonna turn around and sit there and say, hey, look at what I did for you. You know what I mean? Because then, you know, for example, because I don't know why he smacked the shit out of you. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, for all I know, you probably like you probably said something to him. Yeah, but at the same time, it's like if you ask too much or try to get into it, you're more or less prying into their business. So, you know, I want to. That's why I don't like talking too much about it, because if you defend somebody and you talk too much about it, you're gonna learn some stuff that you didn't want to know. So
I see.
yeah, so let's say, for example, like that, like, back on the thing, like, let's say that guy that smacked you in the face, hypothetically, I smacked him in the face. Let's say, for an example, like just completely out there, let's say, for example, like you smacked the shit out of his little brother or something like that, you know what I mean? And I didn't know that, but I took up for you anyways. And then I find that out, and I'm gonna feel bad about defending you. And it's just like a big circle. It's like, no, so defending people, no matter whether you know what's happening or whether you don't know what's happening, it's always like a big circle. So it's terrible.
It's either you're right, you're wrong, or you're kind of right, you're kind of wrong, or you're right, but you shouldn't have interacted because now you're involved. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like there's repercussions to everything. It's just a matter of who you're willing to stick up for and take the repercussions for.
I will say this about the whole situation with Christine and Doopy. Doopy was definitely in the right on like a whole lot of situations. She just got a whole lot of shit for it, and I felt bad for her, and I still do. There's actually times where I get people like tweeting at me like, well, you know, you're a Christian guy. What do you think about how Doopy handled this situation? I just got to where now it's like, look, it's really none of my business. But like earlier, before, I would just sit there and defend her constantly because I knew it was wrong. But when you defend somebody for like months on end, you kind of just like you get like drained. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
So yeah, I eventually got to where it was like, yeah, it's none of my business. Because people, like, when people know that you know something about it, they'll try to pry in there and then make it their business too. And that's going to make the situation worse.
No, for sure. I mean, to be honest, that's also why I'm not even asking much of the situation, because for exactly what you said, like, it's not my business. All I'm hearing that I care about is the fact that you still stuck up for Doopy, and you're telling me, and you know what, she actually was in the right, I'll take your word for it. Because that's not my business anyway to even, like, start digging into, you know?
Yeah.
No, I get it, man. But, so, you know, I've actually never even spoken to Doopy. I think I've messaged her once before. I don't know her that well.
She's funny. I've made it a meme where I, like, steal her boyfriend.
Yeah, wait, aren't they engaged, by the way?
They are engaged, actually, yeah.
Wow. Doopy, if the very odd chance you're listening to this, and your boyfriend, or I guess your fiance now, congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. I'm still taking Jess, though.
Yeah, see, like that. I don't know, that's your guys' joke. I'm just gonna be here and laugh on the sidelines.
Yeah,
no, man, that's great.
I think every conversation I have with her, it starts out with, you know, I'm stealing Jess, right?
And then it goes on from there.
Yeah, it does, but I'm not like super close with her or anything like that. Like I think the last time I talked to her was like maybe a month ago. But she's really nice to talk to, and so is Jess. Jess is funny.
Well, who knows? Maybe one day I'll be able to get him on here. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm hoping this kind of opens up also everyone else in the crew to kind of open up and see like, maybe I wouldn't mind doing this, you know? Because again, like I want to make sure that everyone, you know, I'm not saying this like, oh, I'm the best person to talk to, but you know, this is what I've wanted to do for a while, because like I said, I've always wanted to be in animation, and now that I am, in a way, which is with Dolan, I realize that what I feel I'm good at is helping others kind of, like, I'm a good supporter, if that makes sense. Like, I've noticed that in my life, I'm always a supporter. Like, I'm never the main guy, I'm someone who helps the main guy.
Yeah.
So, I want to help you guys get yourselves out there even more, because one day, the right person can even listen to this podcast and be like, wait a minute, Squid knows how to tattoo? I definitely got a job for him. Or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
Like you never know, man, but that's great. But overall, how'd you like this? What did you think?
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed talking to you. I enjoyed talking about, you know, my personal experiences. As far as art goes, I want to say another thing as far as art goes. Yeah. And my thing is don't stop learning. Like, if you're into art or if you're into anything in general, pursue it and don't stop learning, because as soon as you stop learning, that passion is going to die with it. I've had times where I quit learning for months on end, and I did not want to draw, I did not want to paint, and that's because I quit learning. And I just want to make sure whoever is, you know, listening and is into art or into whatever, don't think you know everything on it, because as soon as you start thinking you know everything, you're going to get bored, and as soon as you get bored, you're going to not want to do it anymore. So look for,
it'll be a cycle.
Yeah, look for other outlets to get into that's within the same region, because when you do so, the passion for what you're doing just keeps going.
Yeah, and I can even attest to that too, because I've never myself ever thought of really doing, pardon me, podcast. Because just as a person, I'm not really one to talk so much. I'm more of an introverted person, but anytime I made videos, anytime I did anything involving talking, people always told me, you know what's weird? I enjoy the way you talk, or I like hearing you talk. And I'm like, how? I don't say anything that's, interesting in my opinion, but people always liked it. So that's how I got the idea of podcasting. And not only that, but in making a podcast, I can still video edit. And this podcast involves animation, which is something I'm passionate about. So I'm trying to incorporate everything. And it's just like Squid said, I'm learning different outlets to what I like to do. And I'm hoping all of you that are, listening, for those that do listen all the way to even till this point in time, really pursue it. Keep finding outlets, keep finding creative ways to get out, because again, no, I never would have thought Squid had all this knowledge in different fields that he knows, but he uses all of that, and a lot of that got into his art, which is great. So overall though, Squid, thank you so much for agreeing to get on here. And again, you were the first one, so thank you for agreeing to this. This was great. Definitely a learning experience for me in terms of how I want to make this podcast. I guess I'll ask too, is it okay if I can use a photo of you, during this video, and maybe use some of your Twitter pictures, just to kind of showcase during this video? Is that cool?
Completely. It's completely okay, yeah.
Alright, thank you. But okay guys, so this is the end of the Civilmation podcast. Again, Civilmation is just me talking to people in the animation field, get their opinions, get to know them behind the scenes a bit. And again, I had my host here, or my interviewee here, SaltySquid. If you guys want to follow him or anything, I'll leave everything that he has. Which, by the way, Squid, if you have anything besides YouTube and Twitter, feel free to send it to me so I can link it for you. But yeah, is there any last minute words, or are we good to go?
I think we're good.
Alright guys, thank you for tuning in. Squid, again, thank you for agreeing to be on here. And hopefully in the next one it'll be Sidious, but if not, we'll see who comes on. So thank you guys for listening. Have a great day.